Hey there! Today's review is for the Deluxe Defender Torozord from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. With one small exception that this is the Japanese version of it, but the mold is the same for both America and Japan with a few minor cosmetic differences. But aside from that, it's basically the same toy. So we'll get started with that. You can see we've got the Mega Defender, which is the giant version of the Magna Defender. And then you've got Torozord himself right here. So we'll get started by looking at the Mega Defender. That's going to trip me up this entire episode, so just forgive me because I know I'm going to just call him the Magna Defender again. Anyway, I owned the American version of this years ago, but I didn't really remember too many differences. But this guy came directly from Japan, and when I opened it and was removing him from the box, one of his horns broke in half. Now, I am not an expert at super glue. I tried it, but it just wouldn't stay because I guess it's too tiny of a space for it to like really connect. So I actually had to order a replacement Mega Defender, and I got, an American one, so I know firsthand what the differences are, which I wouldn't have noticed on the original one anyway. Like, I just felt like this guy felt more heavy, like heavier. The pelvis here is die cast, but down here, these kneecaps are die cast on the Japanese version, but in America, they're plastic. So he is a bit heavier, so I knew I wasn't completely crazy. But he's a nice heavy figure, and I think he's heavy because the Torozord itself is kind of hollow because of the transformation. You have to put this dude into him, so it gives it kind of the full weight of the Megazord. But he's got good articulation. I mean, for such a basic figure that doesn't really do much, you can rotate his wrist 360 degrees. He's got his swords here, which to me are just giant-sized daggers, which make more sense as daggers when you get into the actual Defender Torozord. But he's got good leg articulation, but he's stiff, so even though you can move it a lot, he still makes me nervous. I don't think he's gonna break, but I don't want to put too much pressure on him or anything. His feet move for the transformation as well. And I don't know if everybody's is super weak, but it clicks into place here at the knee joint, but it's kind of loose. Like, I feel like it's too free, but you can rotate his shoulders around. I'm not going to because, like I said, it just makes me nervous. Same with his head. You can go left and right on it with some force. But after that helmet or the horn incident, I'm hesitant to even touch these things ever again. I don't want to break them. There is a switch back here, which is for the transformation. It brings his shoulders forward. I guess they just wanted to give it some kind of action feature. It's kind of silly. I guess he could, I've got my swords, I'm powerful and stuff. But I feel like you could have just let us fold him forward. It doesn't really seem to add too much. I'm going to take these off real quick because, as you can tell, this is a giant version of the Mega Defender. But I thought it would be nice to show you a side-by-side of what he looks like before he assumes this form. The Torozord looks down on him and shines magic Zord sizing light onto him, which makes him giant, transforming him from this. This is the Magna Defender Lightning Collection figure, and this isn't a review for him or anything. I'm not going to waste time on that, but you can kind of get like a side-by-side and see, like, his cape obviously disappears, just shrinks. His hexagon on his chest becomes his belt. The helmet changes a little bit, but it keeps the same basic idea. But yeah, I mean, that's it. So you can see, like, same guy, just different costumes. So we'll put him back into the ether, let him save the galaxy or whatever, and we'll throw him to the back for a second. So the Torozord itself looks really neat. It's, like I said, it's kind of light. The weight from it comes from his hooves down here. They are die cast, so it's kind of bottom heavy. Like just holding it, all the weight's right there. Another difference from Japan and America is this right here. In Japan, it's a gold chain. In America, it is a gold string, very similar to the things that come out of the American version of Zeozord 1 and Zeozord 2. I guess American kids would bite the chain and break their teeth or somehow hurt themselves with it. Or it could have just been cost cutting and Bandai didn't really care about the safety of children. I don't know. But he doesn't really have a lot of articulation. You can move his legs out, but that's because of his articulation in Zord form, or Megazord form here. His mouth opens, so it gives you a little bit. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it because A, he like tends to open up on mine, or B, this happens, like revealing his secret head. So I do like that the paint on, or not even the paint, but the plastic molding here and on his tail matches the Mega Defenders and in turn matches the Galaxy Megazord's horns, though I wish they had not cheapened out and given them like a good color, because this is a hideous shade of orange. It's like the powder you get in macaroni and cheese. But I mean, it's a good way to tie it together consistently, I guess. At least everybody doesn't have different colors going on. But same back here, you can do that, and I guess you could make him jump, though I've never seen a bull jump, and I don't think I want to. That seems terrifying. So there's not really a lot of articulation here. The fun in this version, or not even version, but this transformation mode, is that he's a bull, and Mega Defender can ride him into battle. So pull him over here, but right there, it's hard to see, but you can peg his feet into it to kind of give him footrests. And sometimes it gives me trouble like positioning this figure, but we'll try it and I'll show you. So you get him into bull riding position and just kind of slide him on. Like I said, sometimes this gives me issues, hopefully not today, but we'll see. Don't fall off, that's fine. Just having an emotional moment, apparently. Let's see. Okay, well, I seem to have gotten that one on. Maybe. Oh, I just popped it off. Cool. Well, honestly, this... Oh, there we go. Cool. I don't know how I did that, but I'm not going to question it. So, for me, I find that when making him sit in this position, I rotate his hands upwards and then kind of do this so the chain doesn't worry about slipping out of his hands and, you know, open his horn back up. And you know what? This is kind of neat looking. Like, it, very little functionality, doesn't really... I mean, you can't really move him. He'll fall off. I mean, in theory, he'll sit on it forever. He's not going anywhere unless you, like, really knock him hard. But it's a good display pose. Like, if you didn't like the Megazord form, the warrior mode, I guess, of this, you could display it like this and it would look cool on the shelf. So I think this offers a lot of value because I think both forms look neat. So here's this. The star of the show, to probably most people and me, is the Megazord transformation. So we're gonna pop him off. We're gonna start with the Torozord himself. So first of all, you rotate this up and you kind of turn it around. I mean, well, at least this is how I do it. But you fold the tail in, he tucks his tail, and then you push the saddle up to form the full body armor. And you pop this off. Presumably it's the same for America. I honestly don't remember. But you plug these in, they've got little hooks, to where the feet went, and it holds the I don't know what you call it. I want to say the lasso, but that's not right. But it holds the harness and gives it a good design aesthetic. I can tell you though, the chain really makes this look better than the American version. I mean, both are fine, but this looks so much cooler than string. With that little part to the side, you rotate these around and they extend, which is nice. Cool way of giving it a little bit of height. And you push this down. Then you can rotate these down and do the same thing. You turn them until they stop and the fist comes out, which is super neat. Really cool way to handle the transformation. So we'll do it again. Move it all over the place. And there's that. So here comes the fun part. The part that always gives me trouble, but I'm gonna hope it doesn't give me trouble at all. I'm gonna raise this up and we're gonna angle it down. I'm gonna try and pull it over here so you can see it. But you can open him up. Well, it's not so much that you can, you have to. And it's kind of hard to see in there, but it is not a full figure length. You have to contort the Mega Defender figure to get him in here. And if you don't do it right, the thing won't close up. So in the show, he just jumps straight in. It's fine, no big deal. But the toy, however, doesn't work that way. I understand why they don't do it, but at the same time, there's so little articulation in this whole thing that I wish they had kind of figured out a way to do it. So you fold his knee and leg back and you put them like right there. It's really easy to want to put the feet behind his head, which is what I usually end up doing. So I kind of have to consciously remember not to do that. And I guess I should have pulled the switch first, but you pull this down and it pulls his shoulders over. And I'm going to show you, like, again, it's really easy to want to push the two shoulder pieces together for this, which will make it not work. Let's see if I can do this right, because like I said, I always mess this up. But you want to basically have his arms and his hands upwards like this, kind of like blocking off. And then you close his horns up, which, like I said, makes me super nervous. So we're gonna try this and see if I get it right. But basically, you want it, let's see if I can do this a little bit better. You want it to go in and fit. So hopefully that works. Sometimes I end up knocking it loose. You know, it's just super hard for me to get this for whatever reason. Close up the back piece first, and then you close this up. Wow, that worked better than I thought it would. And even if it's not 100% perfect, it closed. I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to adjust the camera back down real fast and give you a view that actually works. And boom. Finally, you rotate this backwards and you have the Defender Torozord. He looks pretty cool. And now with that heavy figure inside, he's got good weight. I'm shaking it as if you can tell, but he's heavy now, which is good because his Japanese name is the Heavy Star Beast GoTaurus, so now he's actually heavy. You can put these two weapons into his hands, which I guess are still swords. But again, they look like daggers to me. But that's fine. You don't really have elbow articulation. Well, it's not even that you don't really, you just don't. But you can swing out his arms that way and do all kinds of fun poses. He has good articulation though, so you can rotate it and it doesn't feel as bad as rotating the figures. And you could theoretically be like, oh, he's running and falling over because he's so heavy, but he's there. Another good thing with the weapon is it's kind of dual purposed. There we go. You can make it into a semi pole arm by just putting it in the bottom of the hand, which you can make it into a pole arm for the Mega Defender as well. So that's kind of cool. I like that. This is how I display it, like this, because you don't see many Zords with staves or pole arms or anything. I play World of Warcraft, can you tell? So all my names for weapons are based on that. But if you wanted to, if you have the figure displayed, you just snap them together like that, and then you have an actual pole arm and he can hold it. So all in all, like, I was kind of surprised by this because, like I said, I owned it years ago and I don't really remember it. I didn't own any of the Lost Galaxy toys as a kid. As I mentioned in my Galaxy Megazord review, that's kind of when I fell out. Also, I wasn't a kid. I was like 14 at the time. So, you know, that kind of stuff. But this is a good display piece. I really super like this chain. I'm really glad I got the Japanese version. I got a killer deal on it. My Southern's coming out, can you tell? I am a Southerner. I'm not making fun of people. Born and raised in Alabama. Hey, y'all. But the gold just looks so much better than the string that we got. So I highly recommend this, if nothing else, as a display piece. It doesn't combine with anything. Like I said, the Lost Galaxy Zords do not combine, which gives them a little bit more personality in their own way. But this thing looks neat as hell right beside the Galaxy Megazord. So, yeah, that's it. I definitely recommend it if you have a chance to pick one up, American or otherwise. So thanks for watching. Make sure to check me out on Instagram at Old God Machinations or Twitter at OG Machinations. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jargon. And I will see you next time. Bye.